Now, preview time. So let's take a look at what's coming your way.
going on, everybody? Welcome to another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews, exclusively here as always on the Casa D18 Studios channel. I, of course, am your host, the Renegade JJ Williams, and it's new release Saturday. Today we're going to be taking a look at the brand new M. Night Shyamalan film, Knock at the Cabin, starring Dave Bautista, Jonathan Groff, Ben Aldridge, Nikki Amuka Bird, Rupert Grint, Abby Quinn, Kirsten Cui, and M. Night Shyamalan. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for joining me here once again for another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews. As I said in the introduction, it's new release Saturday, and today we're going to be taking a look at the latest M. Night Shyamalan film, Knock at the Cabin. This movie was released to theaters in early February. You're probably wondering why I'm covering it so late. Well, the reason is because we've been expecting for the longest time now as wrestling fans for Dave Bautista to be announced that he's finally going to get inducted into the Hall of Fame this year. As of this taping and this airing, that still hasn't happened. He was announced back in 2020 that he was going to be inducted in the Hall of Fame, but during the COVID era, he didn't want to take the risk of traveling, catching COVID, having to go behind on some of the films he was working on. And so WWE basically said, well, let us know and we'll induct you when you can. He's been throwing it out there this year that he's ready. WWE hasn't made the announcement yet. And with the theme being movies that star WWE Hall of Famers instead of just movies that star wrestlers, I was hoping that by this point, the announcement would be made that he's officially going in this year. However, like I said, being as how he was already announced back in 2020, I feel like I can still cover this film as part of New Release Saturday, lump it in with the theme of the month, and that's what we're going to do here today. As our movie opens, 7-year-old Wen is vacationing with her fathers, Eric and Andrew, at a remote cabin in rural Pennsylvania. While out catching grasshoppers, Wen is approached by a stranger named Leonard, and although he's initially friendly, he explains that he needs Wen and her parents to help him save the world. However, Wen becomes suspicious when 3 other people appear with makeshift weapons. Wen flees in order to warn Eric and Andrew, but the visitors break into the cabin and tie them up, with Eric sustaining a concussion in the process. Leonard and his companions, Sabrina, Adrian, and Redmond, claim that they have never met until this day, and that they have no intention of harming the family. However, in the past week, they have been driven by visions and an unknown force to find this particular family. Now, the group foresees an impending apocalypse in which Leonard claims that oceans will rise, a pandemic will spread, the sky will fall, and darkness will cover the earth. The only way to prevent this is for the family to sacrifice one of their own. They are warned that although they will survive the apocalypse, if they do not make a choice, they will also be the last people alive. Eric and Andrew suspect that the group is lying and that the attack is motivated by hatred and delusion. When the family refuses to make a choice, the visitors sacrifice Redmond by covering his head with a cloth and beating him to death with their weapons. A concussed Eric sees a figure of light as Redmond dies. On television, the media reports show devastating mega tsunamis, which Leonard declares is the beginning of the apocalypse. Andrew recognizes Redmond, whom he believes to be Rory O'Bannon, a homophobe who had assaulted him in a bar years prior, which led to Rory's imprisonment. Andrew thinks that Rory tracked him down for revenge and manipulated the others to go along with his ruse. Leonard, Sabrina, and Adrian question Andrew's assumption and grapple with their guilt, but they still hold on to their visions. They reveal that Redmond's death has unleashed the first judgment of humanity, and the next day, the intruders sacrifice Adrian as the family remains indecisive. The disasters continue as a deadly flu virus, to which children are particularly vulnerable, spreads across the world. Andrew insists that the disasters are coincidental and that the visitors were anticipating a pre-scheduled news broadcast. Sabrina describes how she and the other visitors were led to find each other online by their visions. Andrew escapes, retrieves his gun from his car, and shoots at Sabrina until she flees. He then finds Redmond's wallet and proves to Leonard that he was, in fact, Rory O'Bannon. Injured from his attack, and with their tires slashed, Andrew believes that the four came in their own vehicle, which is located nearby, and suggests that they use it to escape. As Leonard is being held at gunpoint, Sabrina breaks back into the house and is fatally shot by Andrew as a result. Eric and Andrew then lock Leonard into the bathroom, but Leonard tricks Andrew into coming into the bathroom, overpowers him, and steals the gun. Leonard then decapitates the now deceased Sabrina, and the broadcast shows spontaneous plane crashes occurring around the world. Realizing that their time is nearly over, Leonard leads Eric, Andrew, and Wen to the back deck as the sky darkens. Leonard informs them that after his death, they will only have a few minutes left to make a decision, and then he proceeds to slash his own throat. Upon Leonard's death, lightning causes fires and more planes to crash. Eric now believes that the events are real and that the intruders represent the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Not wanting Wen to grow up in a destroyed world, Eric offers himself as the sacrifice. He reveals that during Redmond's death, he saw a vision of Andrew and an adult Wen, and Eric feels that their family was chosen to make the sacrifice because their love was so pure. Reluctantly, Andrew shoots Eric, killing him before lightning strikes and sets the cabin on fire. Andrew and Wen then find the visitor's truck with belongings that corroborate their story. They then drive to a crowded diner nearby, where they watch news reports confirming that the disasters have begun to subside. Upon returning to the truck, the radio begins playing Boogie Shoes by KC and the Sunshine Band, the same song that Eric played for them on their drive up to the cabin. Andrew and Wen drive off, returning to the world as our movie comes to its end. I really didn't know what to think going into this film. It's the first M. Night Shyamalan film that I've ever seen. Believe it or not, I know. I've never seen The Sixth Sense. I've never seen Signs. I've never seen Unbreakable or Split or Glass or any of his other films. This is the very first one. I know M. Night Shyamalan is always known for his big twist endings. So me and my girlfriend's daughter were watching this and we're waiting for the big twist, and we don't see a twist. And the only thing I can think of is that the twist was that there was no twist. But it was a good suspense thriller film. And I was really curious to see how Dave Bautista could do in a more dramatic role. He's mostly known for being in action movies. You think about Drax the Destroyer. He's even done some comedies like Stuber. But he's never really done the dramatic that I've seen. So I was curious to see what he could do. And as anti-Bautista as I am, I've well documented the fact that I am anti-Bautista. I thought he did a really good job leading the movie here. He carried the majority of the weight. He was Leonard. He was the leader of the visitors. He was the last one to kill himself, slashing his own throat. And I just thought that he did a great job. And I actually would be interested to see more roles like this for Bautista, because I feel like he's very much out of his wheelhouse here. Again, more known for action and even comedy, as opposed to drama, suspense, thriller. I would like to see more of that. I thought Jonathan Groff did an amazing job as Eric. He probably best known for being Kristoff in Frozen, or even the Keen in Hamilton. I thought he was awesome here as one of the two dads. Rupert Grint, Ron Weasley from Harry Potter, as Redmond, the homophobe who's the first one to die. I thought he did an amazing job here. As far as cast goes, those are the only names that I really knew ahead of time. The rest of the supporting players, I think, did good in their role too. This film is still in theaters, I believe, but it's also available streaming now on platforms like Vudu, where you can pay $25, own it, and watch it at your leisure at home. And that's what I actually did for this one, because I didn't see an availability for me to get back out to the theaters after having just done Ant-Man and the Wasp a week or so ago. And I really wanted to get this done. And it's really cheaper in the long run, because if you figure a family of 4, or in my case, we had 6 people go to Ant-Man and the Wasp, that's $40 just for tickets. Bargain matinee pricing, not even normal pricing. That's already $40 for tickets. You're already saving $15 before you even get to concession stand. So for me, it was the right way to go. Even if it was just me by myself, you figure the bargain matinee ticket and the drink, I'm already at probably $12 to $15. For $10 more, I get to own it. So again, that's what I did. I highly recommend you guys do it. Check this film out. I think you'll enjoy it, especially if you're a fan of M. Night Shyamalan films. I think you'll really enjoy this thriller. When it comes to my rating for it, I'm going to give it 4 out of 5 stars. Again, the main 3 actors that I touched on, Dave Bautista, Jonathan Groff, and Rupert Grint, I think did amazing in their roles. The rest of the supporting cast did awesome as well. I thought the story was easy enough to follow without getting, too complex. Just trust me. With the backstory of Redmond and Andrew, very easy that it could have gotten twisted and complex, but I think they avoided that beautifully here. 4 out of 5 stars for me when it comes to Knock at the Cabin. What did you guys think? Let me know. If you're watching the premiere, leave your thoughts and comments over here. If you're watching on demand later in the day, leave your thoughts and comments down here. Let's have that conversation, that discussion, that debate, that interaction that I'm always asking you guys for in the comments below. And make sure you guys tune in later on today, right here to the Casa D18 Studios channel, as well as the Jeff Meacham Network, and across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, as we present our traditional Saturday night shenanigans, Open Mic Night. This evening on Open Mic Night, we celebrate the birthday of the man whose name is on the marquee, the West Coast professor, Jeff Meacham, as well as discuss the week in professional wrestling news. And then tomorrow on the Casa D18 Studios channel, there will be no new episode of The War Zone, as instead, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media, we will be providing our coverage of AEW Revolution. 4 o'clock Pacific, 7 o'clock Eastern on the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. However, On Monday, right back here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, you will be able to catch another brand new installment of Renegades Reviews as we continue with our movies that star WWE Hall of Famers and we discuss Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe, starring Jesse Ventura, Sven Ole Thorson, Damian Lee, Jerry Leviathan, Marjorie Bransfield, Francis Mitchell, Marilyn Lightstone, and Jim Belushi. And then, following that at the top of the hour on the Casa D18 Studios channel, as well as over on the Jeff Meacham Network, it'll be time for another brand new installment of The Dads, Not Always on Wrestling, as Jeff and I discuss our top 10 feuds of all time. 3 o'clock Pacific, 6 o'clock Eastern, both right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel and on the Jeff Meacham Network. You don't want to miss out on any of that coverage right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel, on the Jeff Meacham Network, across the Jeff Meacham Network multiverse of media. Open mic night this evening, celebrating Jeff's birthday. AEW Revolution watch-along coverage tomorrow. Abraxas, Guardian of the Universe on Monday. So much more in store here on Movies That Star WWE Hall of Famers Month on the Casa D18 Studios channel. You don't want to miss out on any of it. So make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure that notification bell is turned on so you don't miss out anytime a video drops right here on the Casa D18 Studios channel or anytime we go live, as is the case with Stat Boy Sports Bar, Open Mic Night, pay-per-view PLE coverage, etc. Share these videos with your family, friends, loved ones, coworkers, movie fanatics, cinephiles in your life, fans of Dave Bautista, fans of Jonathan Groff, fans of Rupert Grint, fans of M. Night Shyamalan. Anybody you can think of that would enjoy this content in this video, share it with them. It's the only way we're going to boost up my visibility in YouTube's algorithms so I can eventually get monetized and begin to make some money on the hard work I've been putting into this channel for the better part of the last 2 years. Thank you once again to everyone who joined me and tuned in today. It means so much more to me than you'll ever know. And I will see you guys next time.